accept that I should defend a right or eliminate a falsehood by means of the authority vested in me. How much deserving of caliphate would be the person in whose eyes rulership in the world are not worth as much as the lace of his shoe? Rather, it will be very appropriate if the entire world is his shoe, and he rules over it. What Imam Ali said did not consist of only words and opinions. In fact, these views came out from the depths of his great heart, and he grappled with them and kept them alive. Imam Ali preserved this faith during all the difficulties and hardships. In brief, Imam Ali is not a man whose leadership may be confined to Muslims alone. He is not a man of the East or the West. He is an international hero and a perfect specimen of humanity. If we hold a celebration in connection with Ali Day, we celebrate this festival for the excellence of humanity and for the greatest specimen of the world. We celebrate it for the grandeur of religion and knowledge. We celebrate it for the magnificence of sincerity and sacrifice. We celebrate it for the greatness of valor and bravery. We celebrate it for the perfection of religion and completion of blessings, and we celebrate it for spreading Islam in the East and the West. The end. Muhammad Jawad Mufniya. 1. Alphabets of allegorical significance at the beginning of some chapters. 2. I have written an article on this topic in Al-Irfan, issue No. 1, year 1959. Author. 3. Those who are fond of purchasing foreign printed books expect to hear about the luminous realities of Islam from others. Since the Orientalists have not forgotten their personal motives, they depicted Islam in distorted manner, and misled some people. 4. The Dutch filmmaker, Geert Wilders has committed this same foolishness by making a film on the Quran called Fitna. 5. Referring to the Battle of Kondak Ditch. 6. Abu Sufyan Sheikhu 1 al-Umayyan, pg. 190. 7. pg 37. 8. pg. 22. 9. For more details refer to Mahmoud Akkad, Abush Shuhada. George Jordak, The Voice of Human Justice, and Anasiya ash-Shatia Liman Yatawala Muawiyah. And for what we have written about Shias and Muawiyah, refer to our other books like Al-Mayalish al-Husayniyah and Sul al-Hasan wa Istishad al-Husayn. Also refer to as Surah Bain al-Amwiyan wa Abadi, al-Islam by Nuri Jafar. 10. Hopnavi has written this on page 143, but on page 70 he writes, Ali killed Umar ibn Abd Wad in the Battle of Kondak. This makes clear what Allah said about the infidels in Surah Hajj. Verse No. 46. For surely it is not the eyes that are blind, but blind are the hearts which are in the breasts. This shows that Hopnavi has said contradictory things. Author. 11. Sahih Muslim, Tradition No. 2408, Kitab al-Fadail, Chapter of Min Fadail Ali ibn Abi Talib R.A. 12. Sahih Tirmidhi, Tradition No. 3876. 13. Henri Lamens was a Belgian Orientalist. In order to cause harm to Islam and Muslims he has also written a book in praise of Muawiyah and Yazid. Author. 14. Reference to Quran 42. 23. 15. Imam Khomeini has said that Muslims argue whether one should pray with hands open or clasped, while the enemy is thinking about cutting off their hands. 16. Fadl ibn Ruzbahan wrote a book, Ibtal al-Battle to counter Allama Hilli's Naj al-Haq. Therein he says, doubtlessly, this tradition is correct. Author. 17. This refers to a group of Muslims called the Taba'an. They are those among the generation that have seen the companions of the Holy Prophet. Note by al-islam.org. 18. Like it is said about the Prophet that only he is great after the Almighty, in the same way it can be said about Amir al-Mu'minin that he is the greatest after the Holy Prophet. The specimen of perfect man, according to Ibn Arabi, is a one, so the honorable being of Amir al-Mu'minin. Shares. Appendix 1 Sermon of Imam Ali, A. Regarding Ghadir. During the caliphate and rulership of His Eminence Amir al-Mu'minin, A. Once, the Eid of Ghadir fell on a Friday. He delivered a very eloquent sermon that revealed the greatness and grandeur of the Eid of Ghadir. Thanks be to Allah who does not need the thanks of the thanksgivers, but He has made it a means that through it, people may confess to His Lordship. I testify that there is no God except Allah, the One, without a partner, and I testify that Muhammad is His servant and His messenger. On the first day of creation, Allah chose His Eminence, Muhammad S. with his knowledge among all His creations and gave him a lofty status among the prophets also, so that he may, on behalf of Allah, order the people to perform certain things and restrain them from certain acts. Allah appointed him as His representative for recognizing His laws because Allah is not visible to the eyes and does not permeate into the intricate layers of the minds, thoughts, and assumptions. Indeed, Allah is none but an absolute king. The Almighty Allah attached the testimony of the prophethood of His Eminence, Muhammad S. with the confession in His divinity and bestowed such a distinction that no one else can obtain. His Eminence, Muhammad S. was indeed deserving of this distinction and bestowal because he dedicated himself completely to Allah and he was the beloved servant of Allah. Without any doubt, one who changes his attitude every now and then cannot receive this distinction, and the mind that becomes the prey of every assumption cannot reach the level of Allah's love. Allah has commanded us that we must invoke blessings and greetings upon Him so that His honor may increase, and that this act may also become the reason for the acceptance of the prayer of the supplicant. The Almighty Allah Himself also blesses him and grants more and more honor and dignity, and He increases His greatness, till there is no limit to His greatness and honor, and it will remain forever. Then after His Eminence, Muhammad S., the Almighty Allah made some personalities as His special servants. He granted them a high status on account of the greatness of His Eminence Muhammad S., and entrusted them the responsibilities of His Eminence, Muhammad S., so that, in the capacity of true callers towards Allah, they may invite the people towards the Almighty Allah and impart to them the lessons about understanding of the divine reality. Such a person is present in every age and time. The Almighty Allah created them at the very first moment of creation. They spoke up to mention His praise and gratitude for Him, which occupied a place in their hearts while they were yet in the form of nur, effulgence. Then He made them hujjat proof for all those who testify to His lordship and confess to His servitude. Despite these, they are His servants, and they are such that they do not do anything without His leave. They always act according to His orders. The Almighty Allah is Himself well aware of their circumstances and conditions. They do not seek forgiveness for anyone except those who are liked by the Almighty. Their hearts are never devoid of the fear of Allah. They comply with all His orders, and they follow the divine practice. They do not transgress the limits set by God, and they conduct themselves in conformity with His commands. Also, the Almighty Allah did not keep His servants blind and deaf, gave them intellect which is intertwined in their beings and fixed firmly to their souls. He made the power of senses subservient to intellect and placed it in the inner portion of the ears, eyes, and the body. In this way, He exhausted His proof on everyone and showed them an illuminated path. Through His power, He gave to the people a tongue that speaks so that they may speak about all that they perceive through the senses and through contemplation and reflection. O congregation of believers! After this I want to tell you that today, Allah the Mighty and Sublime has brought you two Eids. They are such that one could not have been established without the other. He did this in order to complete the goodness for you, and that He may make you aware of the straight path, and that He may take you behind those with enlightened hearts, who have obtained light from the brilliance of His guidance, and that He may make you walk on the path of His manifest religion and bestow you with His uncountable favors. On the basis of this, He made the day of Friday as the day of congregation and directed everyone to participate in it, so that whatever you have done during the week may be clarified, and whatever defects and shortcomings you have made in your work may be corrected and organized every Friday. It is on this day that believers remember each other. It is on this day that the pious display piety. It is on this day that the Almighty Allah rewards the deeds of the righteous many times the rewards for other days. However, the matter does not end at this. Rather, it is necessary that you comply with His commands, and that you shun that which He has prohibited and put in more effort to do that which He has emphasized. Now, you know that faith in the oneness of God is not acceptable till one acknowledges the messengership of His Eminence Muhammad S., and no faith or act is accepted till one accepts the